Hi friends, I am Asmitha.
Welcome to my channel. Jin Xing, China's most popular TV hostess, has been many things in her life. She's a dance prodigy, prima ballerina, decorated colonel in the People's Liberation Army, choreographer, actress, wife and mother of three. She also has been a man. Jin was born in 1967 in Shenyang, a provincial northeast city in mainland China. Her father was a bureaucrat in the army and her mother a translator. As early as 4, she felt she was different, not just in terms of her sexual identity but also thanks to a precocious talent for dance that would, by age 9, result in her admission to a prestigious troupe within the People's Army. Traditional dance and acrobatics are considered strong propaganda tools within the Chinese military. For the next 10 years, Jin's rise through the ranks of the military would follow two distinctly different paths. As a promising member of the dance troupe, she studied Russian ballet, Chinese opera, dancing and acrobatics. As a soldier, she became proficient with machine guns and learned how to place bombs delicately under bridges. Her post-military life was no less ambitious. She became an acclaimed dancer during a stint in New York, founded her own dance troupe in Shanghai and adopted 3 children whom she raised on her own until her marriage in 2005. Her career as a TV personality skyrocketed thanks to regular appearances as a judge on a local version of So You Think You Can Dance, where she was a fan favorite for her withering takedowns. Her popularity eventually led to the Jin Xing Show, a wildly successful variety chat program. It's viewed by an estimated 100 million every week. That includes a dance competition, with Jin as the sole judge. She has been a woman since undergoing gender reassignment surgery in 1995. Now a bona fide superstar, Jin, in her 50s, is a one-woman industry unto herself, a kind of Chinese hybrid of Oprah, Simon Cowell, and Caitlyn Jenner. And yet, outside China she is virtually unknown. Jin won't discuss the circumstances surrounding how she was allowed to change her sexual identity. She was not the first person to undergo the procedure in China, but the practice was widely considered taboo. The first media reports about gender reassignment began to pop up in Xinhua, China's official news agency, in the early 90s, but usually in a negative context, and Jin was the first public figure to transition. And since her transition was so high profile, she already was famous as a male dancer at the time. The fact that the Chinese government did nothing to stop it was widely seen as tacit permission. Jin's rise through the ranks accelerated when she won her first national dance championship at age 17, becoming, as she says, the #1 male dancer in the country. She laughs softly at the memory of that first win, as she had to dance in the propaganda style, exactly like North Korea does today. Same thing. With a rising national profile and reaching the rank of sergeant, Jin saw her life take another turn when she became aware of a dance scholarship to America funded by a cultural exchange program, and Jin moved to New York as a wide-eyed 19-year-old. In New York, she studied dance during the day while working menial jobs at night to make ends meet. In the meantime, Jin's dance career was taking off. She won awards at America's most prestigious dance festivals, and the New York Times and other publications lauded this young male dancer from China as a virtuoso. By now news of Jin's success in New York had reached China, and such was the People's Army's pride in her that she was promoted to colonel even though she wasn't technically serving. Offers began to flood in from American dance companies, but Jin was yearning to experience Europe, so she worked for a time in Rome learning Italian and developing a lifelong love for the country, and then Brussels, where she picked up French. All the while, privately, she was researching, preparing and waiting to transition. It would have been easier for Jin, then 28, to undergo surgery and make the transition in the US or even Europe, but she felt the pull of home and family. I saw doctors in the West, but I needed to go back to China. I wanted to be close to my mom because the first life she gave me, I was born as Chinese. So the second time I gave myself a birth again, I wanted it to be in China, too. I am Chinese. I can live in New York. I can live all over, but I am Chinese. Telling her parents was tough, but Jin says that with the dancing, the lack of girlfriends, somehow they always knew. The news that Jin was to be the first person to openly undergo gender reassignment surgery became a national sensation in China. An already fraught situation was made worse when a lack of oxygen to one of her legs during the 16-hour surgery put her whole career in jeopardy. The doctors were adamant that Jin would have trouble walking again, let alone dancing, and they even signed her disability papers. Jin describes this period as the most difficult of her life. I almost committed suicide. I wanted to become a woman, but I didn't want to be handicapped. I didn't want to lose my leg, she says. Over the following year she made a full recovery and eventually, and rather miraculously, returned to the stage in Beijing, now as a woman. Despite her recovery, Jin, then 29, knew that she could never reach the heights of her youth again, so she focused her energy on her fledgling dance company and becoming something of a socialite in Beijing. She also wanted a family and took the bold and highly unusual step of adopting 3 orphans. She won't discuss the circumstances surrounding her adopted children, Leo, Vivian, and Julian. She does. After adopting 3 children, another unusual move for traditional China, and marrying a German businessman, Jin now runs her own modern dance company in Shanghai. This is at the same time as hosting her own show on Chinese TV. Thanks guys for watching this video.